Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Saturday, February 15th, 2025. Now if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most in college hoops, including my top play and my Bank Shot best bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Saturday, over 140 games in college basketball. First up, we'll start in the ACC as Stanford takes on Duke. This one is 4 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN Plus as well as ABC. Now, I think Duke, kind of in a similar situation as it was in its last game against Cal. We know Duke's the better team. They're number 3 in the country, 21-3 overall, but they're laying a giant price in this game now at 21.5 points. We'll see where the line goes, but I think they were laying even more than that against Cal. I think 23.5, 24.5. And while Duke won that game comfortably, they failed to cover in a 21-point win, 78-57. I think Stanford is better than Cal by a good margin, and I think Stanford actually doesn't match up too poorly in this game. I still expect Duke to win and win by double digits, win comfortably, but I think Stanford's going to do enough to cover the spread. I think Duke is right now, I still think Duke is one of the best teams in college basketball, not knocking Duke at all, and I think they're definitely a contender, probably next to Florida, which was my preseason pick. Duke would be my next pick to win a championship by the end of the year, but still can't deny they are severely overvalued in a spot like this. I think the line's a little bit inflated, so I'm going to go with Stanford plus the points in this one. Next up, we have Mississippi State and Ole Miss, big rivalry game in the SEC. This one is 6 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN2. Now, I watched the first meeting between these two back on January 18th. I had Mississippi State in that game, laying about 7.5 points. The Bulldogs won that game at home, but failed to cover in an 84-81 final in overtime. And I got to say, Mississippi State was the much better team in the first half. They had a ton of offensive rebounds. Their offense was clicking. But in the second half, it was all Ole Miss, in my opinion. I thought they really cracked the code defensively. They got a little bit unlucky in overtime, and really, overtime's kind of a coin flip to begin with. So many players in foul trouble or fouled out. And I think, Mississippi State kind of benefited from the home crowd. But now you've got Ole Miss at home playing with revenge, playing in great form right now. They've won 3 straight games, including a win over Kentucky. And I think they match up quite well if as long as they can do the similar job in the second half of that first meeting where they were not giving up those second chance opportunities. They gave up a ton of offensive rebounds in the first half, but limited in the second. If they can continue that in this game, I think the Rebels have no problem. They do a great job of taking care of the ball. They force turnovers, and the one big problem Mississippi State's had defensively this year has been the three-point defense. We saw it against Florida in the second half of Mississippi State's last game, and overall this season, the Bulldogs are ranked 305 in the country in three-point defense. Ole Miss doesn't necessarily live and die by the three, but they're still a top 100 three-point shooting team. They take a fair amount of threes. I think they, especially playing at home, make a few key shots early in this game and ride it out for the win and the cover. So give me Ole Miss in this one. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, we have Michigan State and Illinois. This one is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on Fox. Now, Michigan State's just not in great form right now. We've seen them lose. They lost their last game to Indiana. That was a surprise. And they've lost 3 of their last 4. That was, before that, Michigan State was 9-0 in conference play. They were 18-2 overall. And I still think Michigan State one of the better teams in this conference. But you got to look at the fact that this is a team that's really one-dimensional offensively. They're an excellent free throw shooting team. They're a great 2-point field goal shooting team, but one of the worst from the perimeter in all of college basketball. Less than 30% from 3 as a team this season. And that's really tough when you're on the road, needing to make a few key shots against a tough defense. Illinois is top 5 in the country in 2-point defense. So for me, I just don't think the buckets are going to be too easy to find consistently for Michigan State on the road in this game. And they're also a team that's had at times issues taking care of the basketball. Illinois is a very young team, very talented team. We've talked about how I don't love backing them on the road, but they've been an excellent home team, only a handful of home losses. And most of those, the losses to USC, that was a big shock. But Tennessee and Maryland are very good teams. I think Illinois is playing better basketball right now. They're playing at home with revenge. I think they match up well. I got to go with the Illini in this one and lay the points. Next up, we have Kansas State and BYU. This one is 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. There's no doubting that Kansas State's playing their best basketball of the season. They've got some big wins now on their resume, certainly building up that resume for a potential NCAA tournament bid. They've got the wins over Kansas, Arizona, and most notably the road victory over Iowa State. But along the way of this six-game win streak, only 2 of those wins were on the road. And I still consider Kansas State a much better home team than they are away from home. And BYU, a very tough place to play. I think BYU is the better team in this game by a good margin, especially from the shot quality perspective. And BYU, we're actually getting a really good price with them because of Kansas State's recent run. I think Kansas State's a little bit overvalued. I think BYU should be close to double-digit favorite in this game. So while it may be tough or not fun to go against Kansas State right now, I think we're getting a really good price to do so. I got to go with BYU in this one and lay the points. And the final game we're going to talk about for the Saturday card in college basketball, it's Boise State and San Diego State. This one is 10 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on CBS Sports Network. Now, if you've watched the Bank Shot breakdown from the beginning of the season, you probably know where I'm going with this one. I've been more critical of San Diego State than any other team in college basketball this year. It's not that I don't like San Diego State. In fact, we've backed the Aztecs plenty of times over the last few years, especially on their run in the NCAA tournament. But this year's team just isn't, in my opinion, the same type of talented team or as strong a team as those tournament teams. And I think when you look at San Diego State in this game, I think they're overvalued. I don't think they're playing good basketball at all recently. They had a very big scare against San Jose State in their last one. Before that, they lost to Colorado State. We took the Rams in that game and laid the points. I think Boise State also, on the flip side, is my pick to win the Mountain West Conference tournament by the end of the year. I really like Boise State, even on the road in this game. They're on a 4-game win streak. They're playing with revenge. I think from a shot quality perspective, the much better team in this game. I think they have the better defense and certainly the better offense as well. I'm going to go Boise State in this one and take the points, take the plus money, and I may lay an alternate spread as well. And that's it. Those are the games for Saturday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, my top play in college basketball, which is my Bank Shot best bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.